Okay, so in this video, we are going to be reviewing Unit 8, Lesson 2, where we learned how to calculate the perimeter of a rectangle using the formula P, or perimeter, equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Now, you must be thinking, well, I know that perimeter is just the adding around the length of the sides of a shape. So why is it 2L plus 2W? But if you look at our shape, the two lengths of this rectangle are equal sides. So if this side is 7 centimeters, this side must be 7 centimeters. And if the width of this side is 3 centimeters, then the width of this side must be 3 centimeters. So that's why we have 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, because there's 2 lengths, 2 widths. So you really are kind of adding them all up. I'll show you that you get both the same answer using both methods. So first thing we do when solving a problem is always writing down our formula. So we have perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. So we're going to repeat and plug in our measurements where our variables were. So we have 2 times the length, which I now look and I know my length is 7, plus 2 times the width, which I now know is 3. You want to know what to do next. We have multiplication and then addition. So using PEMDAS, remember handy dandy PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, and then addition. So first we have to take care of our multiplication. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 2 times 3 is 6. The last thing we have to do is take care of our addition. So now we know our perimeter is equal to 14 plus 6, which is 20. And I'm not done because I always have to make sure my answers have units. So we look and it's centimeters. 20 centimeters is the perimeter of this rectangle. Now, just to show you, if you added 3 plus 7 plus 3 plus 7, you are going to get 20 either way. But for our purposes of this unit, we are going to be using this formula. Now, to take this a step further, what happens if you are maybe given the perimeter, but you aren't given a side? So, for example, let's take the problem. If the directions tell you that I'm going to write the formula, of course. But let's say the directions tell you that in this particular rectangle, the perimeter is 90 and the length is 20. But you don't know what the width is. So you must be thinking, well, what do I do first? So I always think, let's go to handy dandy PEMDAS. I have multiplication here or addition. I can't really do anything with this 2W. So let's take care of our multiplication first. So we have to put into our calculators, or if you know in your head, 2 times 20 is 40. So we're going to rewrite 90 equals 2 times 20, which I said was 40, plus 2W. Now this brings us to a standard two-step equation. So if you remember, we want to get the width by itself. We want to know what the width is alone. So we have to get rid of whatever is attached to the width, which is it's being multiplied by 2 and added to 40. So let's get rid of this 40 first because it is attached by addition. So we have to do the inverse operation to get rid of this 40. It's being added to this 2 times the width. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. So you are going to subtract 40 to get rid of it from this side. But as we know, whatever we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other. So now we have a positive 40 minus 40 cancels out. 90 minus 40 gives us 50. And then we got to bring down our equal sign and bring down whatever is left, which is 2w. Okay, now we just have one more step to figure out what our width is. So we want to get rid of this 2 that's attached to the width, or the w, our variable. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So we would divide by 2 on both sides to cancel out that 2 there. And whatever we do on this side, we have to do on this side. Now, 50 divided by 2 is 25. I always think of quarters, but you can always put that into your calculator. But 2 quarters make 50 cents. And then we just bring down our variable that's left over. So we know that our width is 25. Always think back, if our directions tell us what the units are, then we always have to put our units. So I believe I didn't put units in here, which is my mistake, but make sure you always label, so we could even just say 25 units. Alrighty, and that is working with perimeter, the perimeter formula. If you were given a formula or a problem and the length was missing, you would do the same process. You just want to isolate that variable, get that variable alone, like we did here, to figure out what it stands for. Okay, happy studying.